There are places that time has tried to erase, cities that once existed, full of life, culture, faith, and power, and that suddenly vanished, as if they had never been. I've always wondered how many secrets lie buried beneath the desert's dust, hidden beneath ancient stones that still bear the marks of a past humanity insists on forgetting. Yet there is something within these ruins that resists oblivion, something that whispers through the wind and invites us to look beyond history. The lost cities of the Bible. I have always believed that every stone carries a memory, and that is why, on this journey, I want to take you with me along a path where archaeology and faith meet. A path where the distant sound of Jericho's trumpets still echoes, where the ashes of Sodom still tell stories of fire, and where the walls of Babylon hold the pride and downfall of forgotten kings. These cities are not merely points on a map. They are silent witnesses to everything we once were, and everything we still are. I begin this journey gazing across the dry horizon of the Middle East. At first glance, there is nothing there but sand and stone. Yet beneath that silent landscape lie stories that defy time. Every grain of sand hides centuries of faith, fear, and hope. And it is in that silence that I hear the echoes of a city that once gleamed like gold and vanished in a single night of destruction. Sodom. As I walk among ancient ruins, I try to imagine what that place was like before the end. The old accounts speak of gardens, fountains, and houses of polished stone. A prosperous place, lit by torches and marked by abundance, but also a symbol of how far humanity can stray from what is essential. Archaeologists have found traces of an ancient city near the Dead Sea, where the soil still bears signs of sulfur and intense heat. Some believe that this is where Sodom once stood. Others say it is merely a geological coincidence. But when the wind blows and the air carries a bitter scent of salt and smoke, it's hard not to feel that something deeper lingers there. A living reminder of what can happen when pride surpasses wisdom. Continuing the journey, I follow the trails of the Jordan Valley. The sun feels harsher here, and each step stirs the dust of millennia. The sound of the birds is the same that echoed thousands of years ago, and for a moment, I feel small in the presence of so much history. It was in this region that Jericho rose, perhaps one of the oldest cities in the world. Its walls have been the subject of legends and prayers, of triumphs and collapses that shape generations. When I close my eyes, I can imagine the armies marching in silence, the distant sound of trumpets, and the moment when the ground seemed to tremble. Archaeology has uncovered fallen walls, fragments of pottery, remains of burned structures. Some say it can all be explained by an earthquake. Perhaps, but what moves me most is the harmony between the story and the evidence. The fact that something truly happened here, something that forever marked a people's memory. Jericho is not merely an ancient ruin. It is a reminder that even what seems unbreakable can fall, and that the power of faith or destiny can bring down walls, whether made of stone or fear. Further ahead, I arrive at what was once Babylon, and even in ruins, it still commands respect. The wind that blows through the cracked bricks seems to carry the murmurs of ancient voices, voices that spoke a single language and believed they could reach the heavens. The city of Nebuchadnezzar was the heart of an empire, a symbol of glory and decay. Its walls, towers, and hanging gardens were counted among the wonders of the world. But now, all that remains is silence. Archaeologists have revealed foundations, inscriptions, fragments of statues, and traces of streets that once pulsed with life. Some say that among these ruins lies the memory of the Tower of Babel, a structure that tried to touch the divine but became the symbol of human confusion. Walking through Babylon feels like looking into an ancient mirror. I see greatness, but I also see fragility. The story told by these stones reminds us that human power is fleeting, and that no tower, no matter how high, can resist the erosion of time. As the evening falls, I reach the banks of the Euphrates. The sun sinks slowly, and its golden light touches the ground as if trying to reveal secrets. Nearby stood Nineveh, the great capital of the Assyrians, a powerful city, feared by all, filled with temples and sculptures that told its story of glory. For a long time, scholars believed Nineveh was just a myth, but the excavations of the 19th century changed everything. Beneath layers of earth, archaeologists uncovered colossal walls, detailed reliefs, and even clay tablets containing records of administration. It was proof that Nineveh existed, and that its fall was as real as its pride. I remember the silence I felt when I first saw the photographs of those excavations. It was as if the earth itself had kept the pride of a civilization and returned it in the form of ruins. To walk through the gates of Nineveh, even in thought, is to feel the weight of an empire that once believed itself eternal. But no strength endures when it forgets the purpose that sustains it. Further south, the desert hides another mystery. A city built with wisdom and wealth, yet wrapped in shadows. Petra, carved into the red rocks of Jordan, it seems to rise from nothing, as though shaped by divine hands. Its monumental facades, temples, and tombs still astonish those who see them. Though Petra was mentioned in ancient traditions, it was forgotten by the world for nearly 1,000 years before being rediscovered by Western explorers. To walk through that narrow canyon leading to the heart of the city is to travel through time. The sunlight blends with the redstone, creating a sacred glow. There, the line between man and mystery becomes almost invisible. As I contemplate these cities, some confirmed, others whispered by history, I realize that the real mystery lies not only in the stones, but in what they represent. Each one carries a message about the destiny of humankind, about our search for greatness, and about the need for balance between faith and reason. Archaeology seeks to uncover the facts. Faith seeks to understand the meaning. When the two meet, the past becomes more than memory, it becomes a mirror. There is a moment in every excavation when the archaeologist stops and simply gazes at what has been found. These are not just ruins, they are lives, dreams, hopes that once breathed. It's impossible not to feel a kind of reverence. It's as if each stone whispers, I saw what you have forgotten. And deep down, that is what fascinates me about these lost cities. They remind us of how small we are before eternity, yet how much we can learn from what would be left behind. As twilight descends over the desert, I wonder how many other cities still sleep beneath the earth. How many stories remain untold? Perhaps archaeology will one day uncover them completely. Perhaps not, but what truly matters is that these ruins continue to call to us. Not so we may look only at the past, but so we may understand the present. Each stone, each fallen wall, is an invitation to reflect on what we build, on what we destroy, and on what truly endures. The wind raises again, stirring the sand that covers centuries of silence. I think of the people who once lived in these cities, their joys, their choices, their mistakes. I think of how time is relentless, yet fair. It erases what is superficial and preserves what carries truth. And in that realization, I understand something. None of these cities are truly lost, because as long as someone remembers them, as long as their stories are told, they remain alive, not in the earth, but in the memory of humankind. Perhaps the real secret that archaeology could never hide is this: that faith and history are not opposites, but parts of the same mystery. Faith illuminates what the eyes cannot see. History reveals what the hands once touched, and between the two, humanity continues to search for meaning. That is why we return, again and again, to the ruins, to the deserts, to the ancient stones, because in each of them, a question waits for an answer. A question that has echoed since the dawn of time: what truly remains when all else is lost? As the stars appear over the desert and silence settles across the land, I take my leave of these cities with a feeling that blends awe and humility. Perhaps we can't rebuild them with stone, but we can keep them alive through remembrance, because, in the end, what defines a civilization is not what it built, but what it left behind. And if this journey made you think, if for a moment you felt the weight and beauty of these stories, then stay with me. There are still many mysteries buried beneath time, many voices waiting to be heard. Perhaps the next revelation is closer than we imagine.